Hi guys, what's up? So today I'm going to be showing you another interesting effect. Now today we're creating the force field shield effect using 3ds Max and Tyflow. Now for those of you who don't know where to download Tyflow, you can get Tyflow by just doing a random Google search Tyflow and you're going to get the beta version. So just download the beta version, and if you can afford the pro version as well, you could just go ahead and afford the pro version, but the beta version works just fine for what we want to do. So we're going to get started, but first of all, let me quickly show you what we're creating. So we have this amazing looking shield effect, right? So basically we are creating particles that are being emitted from this Tyflow icon, and those particles are eating a geosphere right here, and we are spawning two different particles, right? So the first particle spawned as an object bind that is binding it directly to this geosphere, so that makes the object flow around, and then the second one is acting as a spark, right? So we're having some object sparks, and they're falling directly on this plane, and they're being deleted after a time test. So without further ado, let's get started. So first thing I want to do, I want to just go to file, new. I'm just going to new from all. I'm going to quit without saving. And first thing I want to do, just quickly draw my sphere. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to use a geosphere. The last time I tried this, I was actually using a standard sphere, but for this case, I'm going to be using a geosphere. I'm going to tell you why in a sec. And that's because I want to get some nice looking geometry, some nice looking edges, hexagonal edges going around this geosphere. So what I want to do right now is to add a turbo smooth on the modifier. I'm going to add a turbo smooth modifier. So now this is those geosphere shapes we're looking for. And I'm going to just right click and I'm going to convert this to an editable polygon. And right after that, I'm going to make sure I select this. I'm going to my selection on the ribbon panel here. I'm going to make sure this is selected and I'm going to click on this. Now basically what that does is going to select all the vertices right in the middle of the hexagonal shape, and I'm just going to hold down control and I'm going to click on this. Now that is going to transfer those points to an edge selection, and I'm just going to scroll down a bit here and I'm just going to hit remove. Okay, so now that is done, I'm going to just move this back a bit and I'm going to click on my Tyflow right here, and let's get right into it. Open up the Tyflow editor and birth some new particles. Now we are birthing 200 particles from 1 to 150, and what I want to do is reduce these particles to 10, just like that. And right now between 1 to 150, from 150 we're generating 10 particles. Now we're not seeing those particles happen because we need to drop in a those particles need to be bettered on something, or they need to be bettered on an icon. In this case, we're using the Tyflow icon under the helper section here, and click on the Tyflow icon. And I'm just going to quickly come to my top view panel here, and I'm just going to draw in that icon right here. I'm going to go back to my perspective and I'm going to rotate this by 90 degrees, making sure it's facing this. In your case, it might be positive 90, in mine it's a negative 90 degree. And right now, I'm going to go back to my Tyflow editor. I'm going to type in a position icon. And with the position icon, I'm just going to click on this. And right now we have our object being emitted directly into the icon, right? So that's looking good. Now we need to make these particles emitted to flow directly to this, and I'm going to just right click here and I'm going to do a speed. So I'm going to bring the speed below this position icon, and I'm going to make sure that this is set to a long icon arrow, and I'm going to just select the icon itself. Yeah, so this is looking good. We have our, yeah, so let's increase the magnitude to about 5. There we go. Awesome. Now this is working just fine. I want to quickly add my geosphere right here, and the next thing I want to do is to drop in a collision, right? And I'm going to click on this and then click on add selected because that was selected, and I'm going to just hit play. So now we are having, our particles collide with this object, right? Now Tyflow wants to know what happens after the collision, and I'm going to tell Tyflow to simply spawn more particles. So I'm going to drag this, I'm going to drop this here. Now Tyflow knows that once he hit this, it needs to spawn particles. Now you see the color change from green to this purple dot right here. And I'm going to click on delete parent. So basically that just deletes each parent and then spawn the particles. Currently we're spawning just one. I'm going to leave this to about 500 for now for a start, because I want to keep everything nice and simple. Right after that, I'm going to click on a speed operator, and for the speed, now we're seeing the spawn particles. Currently, I'm going to change this to inherit previous, and what that does is it basically inherits the velocity, shape, and spin of the parent particles, which is looking good. But what we want to add is to drop in an object bind. Right, so I'm going to drop in an object bind, and actually for this particles that are going to be wrapped around the object, we don't really need to have the inherit previous. I think this is for when we are trying to generate the spark particles. So let's just take this back to random 3D. And for the object bind, I'm going to just add selected. So we've selected this object. Alright, right now we see that the spawn particles are now sticking to this geometry right here. So rather than lock onto the object in the object bind features, I want to change this to lock to surface, and I'm going to reduce the friction to about say 2. So there we have it. Now we have this objects wrapping around this. This is looking really nice. I could decide to change the speed from this to like 0.6. Yeah, so you have something looking really nice. Let me change this display to pixels. It looks really nice in pixels. And yeah, this is looking really good. Now you can decide to increase the speed, I mean the offspring. I could say from 500 I could do like a 10,000. In my final project I was doing 40,000 and just looking really nice. So I love this. This is looking really good. I'm going to drop in a force, and for the force basically I want to have a turbulence. I have a turbulence right here. And first of all, let's try Berlin. Let's see how that looks. I'm not sure I'm gonna like it, but let's try. Not bad. I think I like it. Yeah, I think this looks really good. I think in the previous one I was using turbulence though. Let me see. Okay, so you guys, I guess you guys just have to decide what works for you. I think turbulence ain't bad too. Berlin ain't bad. Oh my god, I'm gonna spend 10 minutes trying to figure out this. Which of these I'm going to pick? Turbulence, Perlin, turbulent, Perlin.
75 years later.
Ugh, let's stick to turbulence. Alright, so a frequency, I'm gonna leave that. And here, this is looking already good. Alright, so one final thing I want to do for these particles is that I want to have them, I want to do a time test. I want to have them deleted after a while. Let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna have this. I'm gonna do it. So I'm doing a time test right now, and I'm gonna just drop in a delete here, and I'm gonna drop in a delete. I'm gonna make sure that this value is set to 50. So after about 40, okay, let's set 45. So after about 45 frames or so, these particles, start deleting. I'm gonna do a variation of about say 40. Yeah, there we have it, looking really good, right? So we have these particles going right there, boom, 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 boom. Oh, we could make him say, I don't know, 30 maybe. Let's say 20. So let's say 20. Yeah, so that's nice. All right, so that's done. Moving on to the spark. For the spark, I'm going to, let me just quickly hide these for now. I'm going to copy this and then I'm going to drop it here. I'm going to turn this back on, and I want to do another spawn right here. And for this, I'm going to drop this collision right here, and now we're spawning some new particles, right? Looking good. Alright, for the spawn, I'm going to leave this to about say I don't know, 200 maybe. I'm going to increase it later on. So the next thing I want to do is to drop in the speed, and for the speed I'm going to random 3D. No, let's do an inherit previous. Yeah, I think that works better. And yep, inherit previous looking all good. Let me do like a 12 divergence. Yep, and we need a force. Yes, we need a force right there. Minus 0.01 should do. Go. Now we need like a ground plane for these particles to collide with. So I'm going to draw a plane real quickly. Change object properties to display as box, and I want to drop in a collision, and I'm going to add selected, so we have a plane. I'm going to set the bounce to about 5, friction to about 80, and yeah, so there we go. Nice, nice. They fall, but I feel this is a bit slow. What do you guys think? I think speed needs to be a bit more. Say 2, maybe. Speed. Is it 5? Yep. Speed 5. So for the spawn, I think we can drop down the inherited properties. Let's say velocity to about, let's say 20. That's how that looks. Spin to about 20. Yep. And I think that this 5 might be a bit too much. Let's set this to 70. This is a lot. Let's see 2. Yep. It's not bad. So let's turn this back on. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Oof. Nice. What I feel is still, some of these are still traveling way too fast. I think we need to figure out a way to slow that down. Force. I think let me do 0.1 instead. Pulse. Yep. 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 There we go. 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 Nicely done. So we need another collision so that the spawn particles for the spark don't they don't go through the geosphere. So we're gonna just drop in another collision as the geosphere, and then make sure that friction is set to 0. We don't want to stick. And yep, there we go. Bounce. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Nicely. Yep, and yeah, I think basically we're done. You could go, ahead to modify some of your spark particles. Let's say add a turbulence or something. Add like a 0.35 to the turbulence. There we go. There we go. You might reduce it, might be too much. Depends on basically what you're going for. Let's say maybe a 0.2 might be fine. Spawn. Now you could talk about spawning more particles. Say maybe 1,000. There you go. There we go. Variation. So it's maybe like 50 gives some variation. For the force, I'll have a little bit of strength here. 0.05. Yes. There we go. Alright. I don't think I like the way these are coming back up. So I think I'm just going to, let's see. I think I'm just gonna leave this to 0. Yep. 0.6. Poof. Yeah, I think this works just nice. So you could go ahead and modify some of this, particles, and yeah, there we go. I could even let me pause this. I could duplicate this right now. Do a copy. I could do a paste. And for this spawn particles, I'm going to like leave this to say 300, and I'm going to like drop down the this is about 2, and I'm going to let me change this color so we're seeing it red. And for the speed, I'm going to leave this to about say 3. Also, this is going to give us some more variations to the spawn particles. There we go. Yeah, there we have it. We could even increase some of the divergence some more, say give it about a 45, and go. We could drop the spawn to about 100, just to create some more variations. And there we go. Yeah, kind of nice. So there we have it. You could always turn this off if you're not yep. Yeah, so basically that's it. Looking good. And we have the particles looking all nice. I could just change the final color to say about white, so they all have the same colors. So during render you can always change the final color as well. And in the next tutorial for this, so this is divided into 2 part series. We're going to be talking about the rendering, and also going to be talking about how we can use some particles to reveal some geometry shapes that's going to add more to the rendering section. We're also going to talk about how we can render some smoke using the same particles to give it more volumetric effect. Yeah, so basically I think that is it. So let me change this other color to, yeah, let me change this up. So one thing I forget to add is the delete. So I want to make sure after we spawn this, after like, let's see, time test, jump here, we are delete. Oh shit, sorry about that. Alright, so we're deleting as well. Yep, yep. And then they're deleting. There we go. Same thing for this. After some time test, we are deleting the particles. There we go. Alright, so I think that wraps up this tutorial. So you could make some more details to this as you want. I'm gonna change the pixels. I'm gonna change the pixels as well. In your final render, you could decide to add a shape operator here, and then give it the desired shape that you want, right? So there we go. For the main particles, spawn particles here, I set to 10,000. I could always wrap it up to about 40,000, and that's gonna look more detailed. It's gonna take a little bit more time to sim, but yes, that's looking more detailed. Yep. Alright, so thanks guys. I'm gonna see you in the next tutorial. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, right? So you can always drop your questions. I'll be available to answer them. Yeah.